What do you think is the most valuable resource? Do you think it might be gold or bitcoins? I would actually argue that it's time because everyone has the same amount of time and you can't really buy any more time. So everyone has these 24 hours, and what really counts is how you use these and on what you use your time. So, for example, when we look at a video game, the most important thing is the main quest. This gives you the most amounts of experience points, it drives forward the story in the most significant way, and it provides meaning for the whole game. So, I encourage you to figure out what is your quest. What is the thing that gives you the most amounts of experience points for every area of your life? So I've actually created a tool that you can try out, which combines a whole different set of goal setting methodologies, which is kind of a way to describe find out your main quest. And I've done all the pre-work, and you can actually watch me do them right now and see how quickly it actually is. There are also timestamps, so if you want to skip ahead or go back, very easy to do. So without further ado, let's jump right into it, all right?
I suggest you think about what it is that you want from your life and why.
All right, so in the background, you're seeing the tool at the moment. And as you can see, there are 5 different sections. Here is like an explanation on like certain words. And here is like the massive transformative purpose exercise. Then at the top right, we have the blueprint for the soul. And here we have the concept of Ikigai, a Japanese concept which means a reason for being. And then we have like the concept that I'm mostly using is where you have the 10 areas. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go through all of those. And as you can see here, there are different timestamps, and they're all working with a formula. So it is always displaying the current time. So you know when I record that on the minute exactly now. The purpose of this is so you can see how long everything takes roughly, so you have an idea whether you want to do all of the exercises or maybe just one. So what I can say from the beginning on, if you just want to like have the smallest, it's this one. And if you want to skip to that, you can do that with the sections in in the video bar thingy. um, so I don't want to waste any more time. What I'm going to do is like I'm going to go through all of those and I read them out loud. So if you want to read for yourself, maybe just mute yourself. Just want to appeal to many different types of learners. So if you like learning quite nicely with audio, you can like leave it on. So let's start, and we're gonna start here at the top left. So we have here the philosophical explanation, and this is just like a general thing that I thought like puts the all the words being used in a nice frame. So for curiosity, we have like first of all, curiosity drives 2 key behaviors. One, the desire to seek out novel and challenging situations, and the other is the ability to become fully absorbed in those situations. And at the bottom, you also see where I got the information from. So, for example, this is from Stephen Kotler now. And this is also from Stephen Kotler, but I'm not going to mention the references from now on, just so you know. You can like look them up yourself if you're interested in what they said. So for passion, he says, your passion is where multiple curiosities intersect. So learning the history and language of the topic provides a big framework for understanding the topic. So I think this is already pretty clear what curiosity and passion is. Then we have purpose, which is life is not the process of discovery, but a process of creation. Seek who you want to be, and the people who make living doing what they love are the people who insist on doing so. So usually that is their passion, right? Moving on to meaning, I have 2 different sources now because I thought they were equally valid. So I'm going to read both of them. This is from, yeah, I didn't want to mention that. So meaning. To understand the meaning of life means to understand your unique function, and to live a good life means to accomplish that function. You can find meaning by leaving something behind after you die, by helping people around, or by you connecting with a single body here and now. You feel connected with the entire cosmos. And another take on this is from John Peterson, which says meaning is something that comes upon you of its own accord. You can set up the precondition, you can follow meaning when it manifests itself, but you cannot simply produce it as an act of will. Meaning signifies that you are in the right place at the right time, properly balanced between chaos, between order and chaos, where everything lines up as best as it can at the moment. So, and lastly, we come to vision. It's like, don't allow your life to represent anything less than the grandest vision you have for yourself. Make sure that the story you tell when you're old, is a good one. So, haven't really looked at the time, but with all the brabbling and going into that, let's just say it's like tops 8 minutes, right? So we know it's 14:08 now, and we're gonna move on. And these are kind of my own explanation for the same, or for like very similar things, maybe just a different take. And it all comes back to this, the massively transformative purpose, right? So a massively transformative purpose is a meaningful contribution to reduce the suffering of the world. It is a goal which pulls you forward and inspires you to tackle the challenges humanity is facing. Your MTP, this is short for massively transformative purpose, you probably guessed that already, but just pointing out the obvious here. Your MTP is your life, your mission in life to get to your vision. So this kind of all puts those together. And now, just as a rework, I guess, we have the curiosity. So when you're curious about something, you want to explore the novelty of the topic, right? So learning about it energizes you and gets you into a state of flow. So this is when you're curious about something. And if you stay interested in a topic, your curiosity can develop into a passion, especially when multiple curiosities intersect. So as you see, I've kind of taken a similar approach from Stephen Kotler, just like put it into my own words. And maybe you can leave down in the comments which version you like best. And lastly, when you are passionate about something, you want to dive deeper into the history and the vocabulary of that topic. So the purpose is kind of representative of the reason you were born. When your passion aligns with a problem you want to fix in the world, you have found your massively transformed purpose. So this is where we want to go. Some background information though on meaning and vision is that your purpose gives your life meaning. So it makes all the suffering worth enduring, and nothing has meaning in itself unless we give it meaning. Your vision is the future you want to make a reality. So it is the North Star that guides your life. And now we have like actually a little exercise that we can do. So here it says like your passion, and you say list your curiosities and passions, be as specific as possible and rank them. So we're not gonna do it so accurately, just to like see how easy it actually is. So I'm just gonna write those down. Alright, so as you see, it's 14:40 now. So we finished this at 8. So it's, let's say it's 15. So this takes 7 minutes, roughly. So this way you can very easily estimate whether you want to invest that time and whether that's worth it for you in finding your quest, your main quest, so to say. So I'm not going to really do something with that right now because we're going to do all of the exercises. But after we've done them, we're going to look at each of those and see how we can implement that in all the areas, right? So this is kind of the next thing. And it's a little bit bigger. So here's the blueprint for the soul. And this is a concept Vishen Lakhiani has introduced, so to say, and here's actually the video if you want to like have a deeper explanation on that, basically. So keep in mind, I have adapted the system a little bit. So he generally speaks about experiences, growth, and contribution. And I'm not sure whether he mentioned self-fueled goals at some point or the SMART goals. Anyways, I just like put those things together because I felt like they fit in there. And here's also, as you see, here's the explanation for experience. So if time and money were no object and you did not have to seek anyone's permission, what kinds of experience would your soul crave? So then you would, or I will answer those on 3 different levels. One is on the self-fueled level, which is kind of the minimum. What would be the minimum thing that I'd be happy with every day? Then like the target, which I'm like want to hit. And it's can also be considered a SMART goal. I'm not going to make sure that it like suits all those characteristics, or whether it is a moonshot. So here we have the explanation for moonshots, which is the moonshots fundamentally redefine what is possible in a given space, which entirely transcends competitive thinking. And this is the reason why it's actually smart to have a moonshot, because it's so outrageous that you might actually succeed. And there's also the saying, aim for the stars and land on the moon, because when you land on the moon, this is already such a huge accomplishment. So if you just set goals way too high, for example, and you don't even have to reach them in order to be successful by your own definition. So for growth, it is in order to have the experiences above, or like here now next to it, how do I have to grow? What sort of man or woman do I need to evolve into? So this is the question you ask yourself, and then again you answer it on those 3 metrics here. And then we have contribution. If you have the experiences above or to the side, I will change that. And I have grown into these remarkable ways, then how can I give back to the world? And then again, answer those. And then in general, there is a difference between an ends goal and a means goal. So for example, you might say, I'm going to study in order to get a good job. So studying is not the end goal, it's a means goal. And what we're trying to write down here are end goals. So things that would generally make you feel accomplished. And in order to identify end goals, here's a little instruction. So first you identify a goal, and then you answer those questions exhaustively until you have no more answers. First you answer, when I achieve this goal, will I be able to, well, whatever you fill in the blanks there. And then the second question is, when I achieve all this, I will feel. And then you could like, I feel happy or fulfilled. And it's kind of these raster. You have to first do 1, then 2, then 2.1. And when you write down something here, your goal can change and evolve. And then third is identify the underlying objective of your goal and compare it with the original. So when you write down all those things here, for example, you might write down, my goal is to type faster. Like, okay, when I achieve this goal, I will be able to make more profit at my company. And then, okay, when I make more profit, I will be able to buy a nice house. And when I buy a nice house, I can live with my family at a nice location. So then you might say, when I achieve this, I will feel fulfilled or happy. And so then your goal would transform from, I want to type faster, to I want to move my family to a location that is safe and secure, for example. And like, so that's kind of the difference. And then lastly, we have ask the following questions. So it is this original goal the only way or the best way to achieve these objectives? Is this original goal enough to achieve them? And can I achieve them in a more effective way? So when we go back to the typing metaphor, we could say, hey, maybe it would be smarter to invest some time in like night schooling, for example, in order to educate in a different area, which is more profitable, instead of just like typing faster, right? So those are kind of the questions then you can ask yourself. I will not identify all of those goals outright like this. Obviously, there are different engagement levels, so you could say. I'm just gonna start with like, yeah, writing down the goals and how I feel like them. And keep in mind, you can always change them. That's very important. Don't feel like you have to accomplish that because you wrote it down once. Just writing it down makes it clear, and then you can adjust it again.
It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want?
All right. So I've okay. Let's see. Sadly, I forgot at what time I started. So since now it's 31, and we used 8 minutes here, 7 minutes there. I think there were some minutes in between there where like I read things out loud, just to be like giving some people more time to think. I'm gonna write down 15 minutes, um, just to, yeah, be sure. Since this is probably the longest, but now we come to one of the quickest. So when you just want to have a real quick way on figuring out what you want to do in your life, the concept of Ikigai is probably the best thing you can do, since it's just so simple. You just answer 4 questions basically, and you get more or less like an answer already. So again, we have now 32. I'm gonna start right now. All right. So as you see, we are at 37 now. So it basically only takes 5 minutes, right? So it's very short. And with those, you have already a kind of clear picture on what you want to do. So now you would look for the cross sections, just like we have further studied here, where your curiosities intersect. It becomes your passion, and when your passion is also solving a problem, then it's becoming your purpose. And your purpose gives you meaning, and your vision is kind of your purpose fulfilled, so to say. What happens if you achieve your purpose, so to say.
Thank you for paying attention so far. As a reward, you get a meme break.
Alright, so meme break, I thought of avatar memes would always be a nice fit, especially since the new series is like coming out soonish, and I'm currently rewatching it, so I'm just like loving the memes lately. So I need some words of wisdom. You must look within yourself to save yourself from your other self. Only then will your true self reveal itself. Thank you. You have such a way with words. Wait, did you just quote Zuko? You didn't realize?
That is the end of the meme break. Enjoy the rest of the video.
So yeah, now the fun part begins. Like, I always find this the most fun part. So we look at all those things and we try to put them in there. And this might be the longest, might take you the longest, especially if you've done all of those. But you can like either say, oh, I already have a very clear picture of how I want my body to evolve throughout my life. Then you can already write it down. It might be already in all those things you've already written down. Right. So we have 38 now, and I'm going to get started again. All right. So now we have, there we go, 44. This was at 35, I believe. So roughly takes 10 minutes. So here I will put the link in for the video, since you can download this whole document with a little few extras down at the subscription, and you just click on file, make a copy, and then it's your document No one else can see it, just yours. I will obviously clear all the things that I've written down so you can just get started if you want. And time estimated for this is 10 minutes. So in total, 45 minutes if you really want to do everything, right? It would be enough if you just do that and just have a rough vision where you want to go. So depending on your engagement level, you can spend either 5 minutes, like right here, 45 minutes, or maybe even your whole lifetime just doing that. So I hope this was like an interesting first take on the whole thing. Maybe it's less confusing with the goal setting. And yeah, that was basically that. Maybe a little preview on why we're all doing this. I'm going to show you how it can also actually look like when you literally want to level up your life. So there we go. So what you see here is the tracking of all the months, and then here the sum should sum it up the moment it's still loading because of the years. If I were to just delete that, there we go. You have the progress bar, and that was enough for the sneak peek. Alright, that was it with the video. I hope you enjoyed it, you get some value out of it, and if you do want to do the exercise, the link for the document is down in the description. Just make sure to copy it so it's your document and no one else can access it. And if it's a little too complex, bear in mind there's a video coming out explaining all of it and how to literally level up your life. And if you have any feedback on making it more intuitive or to simplify it, I'd be super happy to talk with you down in the description below. And if you liked the video, I appreciate every support. If you share it, if you like it, if you subscribe, because all that enables me to reach more people and gets me one step ahead on improving the education system and making it fun and engaging and to actually gamify the whole thing. Alright, thank you, bye bye, and we see you next time.